Hey everyone, I was just doing some research online about health benefits of exercise, and it turns out that exercise is actually the cure or the prevention for almost every disease that we know about. So here's what we're gonna do. Now take 30, go for a brisk walk. I'll go for a brisk walk. We'll meet back here in 30 minutes. Live forever. Hi everyone, and welcome to beabetterguide.com. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Kelsey Toner. Today we're talking how not to get burnt out as a tour guide, how to keep your energy and enthusiasm up. This is an issue that I know so many of you are dealing with right now. We get lots of questions to the site about how do I keep my enthusiasm up. I'll tell you what, I'm here for you. We're going to get through this together. Here are 8 suggestions for helping out. 1, don't work so damn hard. The reality is, if you're feeling burnt out, you're probably leading way too many tours and working way too many hours. And this is tough, especially during peak season, because the customers are there, your tours are full, you're making a lot of money. But you've really got to figure out what your schedule looks like and when you cross that line into too much. For me, when I was leading back-to-back tours, 2 week-long tours, and if I had to do a third one in a row, I would literally die. On like the second or third day, my energy would bottom out. I was a terrible tour guide. It wasn't a good situation for me, for my employer, for the guests, anybody. So you've got to figure out what does that look like for you. You know, if you're leading shorter tours, can you do 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row? What are the days that you can take off to get some time to rest? 2, you can't afford to take your time off, and think about raising your prices. There's all kinds of really smart business strategies for dealing with your prices during peak demand. So 1, raise your prices during the weekends or times when there's a lot of demand for your tour. 2, raise your prices during peak season. So that way you don't have to work as many tours, get the same kind of money. Thirdly, just raise your prices generally. You're an awesome tour guide, your tour is worth it. So just bump those prices up so you don't have to work as hard. And if you're working for a company and you're thinking, well, I don't have a lot of control over my wages, you can negotiate with them or check out our free video course on how to double and sometimes even triple your gratuities. And there's all kinds of ideas in there for earning you more money. 3, lead a different tour. This was super important for me when I was guiding. If I got to go to a new place, have a new experience, be a guide with some new co-workers, or had to learn some new material, that really kept me energized, it kept me fresh, and it felt like it just got out of the routine. You guys know what I'm talking about. So what does this look like for you? Can you work with your employer to maybe work with somebody different or take a different tour? If you're doing this on your own, can you just design an entirely new tour? Maybe do it for a niche group of customers or a particular interest in your city or location. Try and create a new tour, and that's going to keep things fresh. 4, can't create or lead a new tour? Then throw out your script. You know how much control you have over what you say and what you don't say. So my challenge to you is throw out everything. This is going to take some work, and maybe kind of scary too. All of that stuff that you can just rattle off. You're not allowed to say that anymore. That's going to force you to learn new things. It's going to force you maybe to go on other tours, do a little more research, maybe go to the library, find out some new stories that you can share with your guests. 5, sleep more. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has publicly stated that people aren't getting enough sleep. Study after study shows that this is a health epidemic, and there's all kinds of consequences for you as a tour guide, but also for all of us in all of our workplaces. If you're tired, groggy, your judgment is affected. If you're driving guests anywhere, if you're, depending on what sort of tour guide you are, you could really be putting yourself at risk and the lives of others if you're overtired. So really take this seriously. How are you going to get more sleep? Here's some things that work for me. 1, get up and go to bed at the same time. That gets your body on a rhythm. 2, avoid eating big meals right before you go to bed. Avoid consuming a ton of alcohol or caffeine right before bed. Studies show that affects your sleep, the quality of your sleep. And lastly, smoking and nicotine can do the same thing. 6, eat healthier. Now, I got this statistic from a fellow tour director named Nick Manning, who wrote an excellent book, How to Be a Great Tour Guide. And he said that the Rand Corporation did a study of 250 restaurants in North America. And it found that once you added up everything that people were eating in a restaurant, on average, 95% of people were getting around 1,600 calories per meal in one sitting, just one meal a day. And to put that in perspective, me as your average male, I only need about 2,000 calories for the entire day. So if your job involves eating out with your guests, lunches, dinners, those sorts of things, that's going to be a lot of calories that you don't need. And I should mention that study didn't even include alcohol. So to keep healthy when you're on tour, reach for those salads, reach for those soups, and try and keep your calorie intake down. Avoid sodas whenever possible, and maybe skip out on the dessert. 7. Exercise. As we heard off the top, exercise is literally the prevention for almost every disease that you can think of, from heart disease to stroke to high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and even anti-aging. Regular exercise is going to help keep you fresh. And what happens when you exercise is the endorphins get released in your body, and chemically you're going to feel better, you're going to feel recharged and refreshed. So every single day, try and work in a brisk walk, a jog, whatever that is to you, a bike ride, something like that, and you will feel better, I promise. And finally, number 8, take the time to do things you love. This is so important for me, and I put it last because I really think it's one of the most important things you can do. I find nowadays our days are filled up with things that we just do. They're not really things that maybe we love doing. I'm thinking here of maybe scrolling on that Facebook news feed, checking out my friends on Instagram, binge watching Netflix, gossip sites. The internet can really be this sort of vortex that we get sucked into. So you've got time in your day, but really get intentional about how you're using that time. What is something that really makes you happy? Is it reading? Is it learning something? Is it maybe dinner with friends? Is it taking time to visit with your family? Whatever those things are for you, make sure that they're fitting in your life, because I know the hectic schedule of a tour leader don't always have time to do them, but we're going to try and make them happen. So there's some ideas for reducing your burnout and keeping your energy up. I really know what you guys are going through. If you're feeling that burnout, I was there. This is a tough job that we do. You're doing amazing. Take the time to take care of yourself, and everything's going to be okay. I want to hear from you. In the comments below, how do you keep your energy up? How do you keep from getting burnt out? I want to hear your suggestions for everybody here at Be a Better Guide. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you next time. So from now on, all Be a Better Guide videos will involve exercise, like high knees or jumping jacks, maybe a few squats. Oh boy.